All right. Welcome into the Work Wherever podcast. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different. So we've decided that we're going to do a couple different versions of the podcast. So we're going to do what? We're going to do solo episodes. We're going to do interview episodes. We're going to do trivia, which have we made?
Yeah, I've got a whole list.
Okay. we have a whole list of questions, and
Yeah.
we're gonna do trivia. And so Sydney here is
Hi, guys.
yes, this is Sydney. She's going to be doing the trivia, where you'll be asking us questions. So it'll be me. Haley is going to be doing it. Have we decided else? Have we asked anybody else yet?
We will.
We will.
Yeah, we'll have different guests kind of pop in, I think.
So there'll be different members of our team will be on it, and then we'll probably have whoever does an interview with us, hopefully, will want to do some trivia as well. So that'll be one episode, or types of episodes, I should say. And so, what kind of trivia questions are you looking up?
So I have a whole section. I've kind of separated it into like travel. I've got just like general kind of remote work statistics. I've got like a whole like technology section, so like history of technology, but then like also like newer stuff, and then I've got like social media apps and things like that too.
Okay, social media apps, interesting. All right, I'm excited. I have not seen the questions, so when I beat everybody, everyone will just know that I did not cheat. I've not seen it. Can you confirm that I have not seen the questions?
You have not seen
I've
the
not
questions.
seen the questions. You heard it here. And then today we're actually trying something out new, which I don't know that we really have a name for it yet. I kind of like the name Hotspot because it's like hot off the press, but it plays into like the remote work hotspot.
That's funny.
But we'll see. Internet hotspot. But basically what it is we're going to look up articles.
Yep.
Either trending articles or articles that go out in our newsletter, which you run.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about. And we have 3 today.
3 today.
And they're all around what? What's the general theme?
Travel, remote work. Yeah, pretty much.
Travel and remote work. There it is.
What we specialize in.
That's it. That's what we're going. That's what we're going for. So yeah, this is Work Wherever podcast. If you expected to hear me rant and rave about some sort of happening or going on, then you're just gonna have to wait a week or listen to an old episode. But okay, well let's go ahead and get started. So what's the first article we got?
So first article is a new motorhome, basically, that's designed around remote work. So Fleetwood RV, they basically made this motorhome called the Frontier GTX, which has like an office built into it. So like an L-shaped office, like office doors, everything like that. A monitor, it looks like, is built into the RV itself. Since they've been seeing this trend of more and more people working remotely, traveling, having their families basically live on these RVs, they've just like seen the need for it.
Yeah. So I've seen this so we do an RV trip every year.
Yep.
Which this past year we did a trailer pull behind, and we did a whole bunch of videos where we were doing remote generators and hotspots and USBs and headphones and all that other stuff. And I had to work in the bedroom of it. I guess it was a bedroom? Yeah. A bed. A room that has the bed. An area of the RV that has the bed. And I hated that.
Right.
Because the other alternative is you sit at the kitchen table.
With all your children.
With everybody.
Right.
And you're already in a box.
Cramped space.
Yeah. A really small place. So I think this is an awesome idea.
Yeah.
And the RV looks really nice.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big. The only part that I don't like about this particular RV, and this is Fleetwood, who did this. The only thing that I really don't like about this one is that it's a self-driving one, where it's like a tour bus style.
Right.
So that style of RV, which their marketing campaign on it, I love, where they're like, oh yeah, take your family wherever and work and be wherever, and like they're like one scene, the dad is like working. And then it like 2 seconds later, he's like driving a boat. Have you seen that
No,
video ad?
I'll
Yeah.
have to look at it.
Yeah, he's like, they're like, do what you want to do, and he's like sitting at the
Right.
computer and then driving a boat, and you're like, oh,
And
cool.
I've seen like so many more companies like too base their ads on that. Like I know you
Yeah.
just got your truck,
Mm-hmm.
Cloudette,
Yeah, classic.
um, which is a what?
It's a Silverado. It's a
It's a
Chevy 2022 uh, Chevy Silverado.
right. And then after you got it, I saw a commercial like on TV, like
Yeah.
work wherever or work wherever you want.
Right.
Basically, I was like, this has to be why he got it.
Yeah.
Um,
It had a lot to do with why we got it. Yeah.
that has like the built-in Wi-Fi and everything like that too.
Yeah. So you did. You texted me and you were like, I think did you send me the article or something? And you were like, did you get it for this reason? And I'm like,
No, I just saw it on TV. Like I had no idea,
yeah.
and
And
it
I
was like
did.
our slogan almost. So,
Right. Yeah, I know, right? It's
which
like,
is perfect.
which we've had this slogan for like 7 years, and
Right.
now you're starting to see it everywhere. It kind of makes me feel like I might have an idea of what we're doing here.
Right. I see
Um,
work wherever you want a
right.
lot.
Work
Luckily,
anywhere.
work anywhere, I think
Yeah.
is
I see
theirs.
that one a lot.
Luckily, I haven't seen work wherever.
Work wherever is ours.
Yeah.
They must have been doing their research. But the Silverado, the reason why we got the Silverado was so that we could pool an RV.
Mm.
So the fact that this is a self-driving one, for some people who like are new to RVs, the self-driving ones seem really cool, and they're a lot nicer, I will say, because they're heavier.
Yeah.
The tow behind ones are not as um, they're nice, but they have to be lighter so that you can pull it with something, you know. So
Right.
like we have I have a 1500, and there's a max tow capacity there where so they make everything like lighter plywood, you know. It's not as well built, I'll say.
Gotcha.
But when you get to an RV spot, if you have a one of these driving ones, you're stuck. Like you park, you hook up. So when you get to the RV spot, have you ever been in an RV? Or like
No,
going, so
I don't think so.
so you get to a, well, now you have to,
I've been in like a pop-up camper.
that's similar. That's pretty much the
Way
same
back
thing.
when.
So when you get to an RV spot, you hook up a hose
Yeah.
to it, and it like screws in, and then that's your water. And then there's a tube that you take from the RV, and it goes into the ground, which is like it's a sewer.
Right.
And then that is, you know, you have your black water and your gray water. Your gray water is like your soapy water, you know, washing your hands, or you're on the sink, or you took a shower. And your black water is the sewer.
I hear that a lot. Like I watched a lot of like Sprinter van conversions
All right.
on YouTube, and my cousin actually just bought a Sprinter van a couple months ago, and I want to say like spent like $50,000 or something like that, like completely redoing it. But she has like a dog blog, so she works remotely
That's cool.
from home.
Right.
I think like accounting or consulting or
Yeah.
something like that. But then she has like, 50,000 followers on Instagram, travels around in her little camper van, takes like these gorgeous pictures, and then
It
that's
has
like,
gray water, black water.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like her job. So
That's pretty
it
awesome.
literally can be done like
Oh yeah.
so many professions.
Accounting is definitely one of the professions. Bookkeeping, accounting. There's a term for the industry, and I'm blanking on it, but it's essentially people who think for a living. So like if you don't work with your hands and you work with your brain, then you can work remotely.
Right.
And so, who was it? Fleetwood RV is just one more example of this. Really cool. Check it out. It's on Capital Presence. We'll link it in this episode. And you're starting to see this. So this isn't the only art. Well, this is the first I've heard of it. But then I Googled it after you sent me this article to look on.
Right. Yeah. This is from today, so I think it's like a brand new.
Yeah. And so
Brand new thing.
I looked at I Googled it, you know, top 10 RVs that, and so Jayco, who's a really big company, they do a pool behind that has an office. So generally in the back of the RV, there'd be a bunk bed. And so one of the Jayco layouts, they have, you know, tons of layouts, but one of the layouts has a desk.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then there was two other companies, K something. I don't know. You maybe we'll post that article too, but it's a layout that you can get now. where it's just desks and they have built-in monitors and a dedicated workspace, and then the workspace folds down into a bed, a single bed instead of like bunk beds or dual bed. But yeah, pretty cool.
I see it a lot too, like on TikTok.
Yeah.
But like I always come across like families. My whole family of 9 people lives on an RV.
Right.
We do school here. We work on the road. Like it is becoming way more popular.
It is definitely going to be something that we're not done talking about.
Right.
I think that this is going to be a trend for sure. And I've been saying it for a while, but now that you're starting to see RVs built around it, you're starting to see cities built around it, you're starting to see homeschooling, your curriculums, and it's a serious trend
Right.
now. So what's the next article we got?
Yeah, so that actually brings me to my next article. Has remote work changed the travel landscape? Yes,
Yeah.
is what it's saying. So they've kind of coined this term bleisure, basically. So it is basically a blurred line between business and personal travel, is what they're saying. So now all these people have ability to work remotely. They're kind of going wherever. They can pick where they want to work, and it's changing a lot of things for like travel and tourism, and bringing a lot more attention to these places that normally wouldn't necessarily have it.
I had never heard the term bleisure until this article.
I think they've kind of made it their
They
own.
termed it. And so it's like business, pleasure, travel. So you're taking your work with you, and
Yep.
you're working from the road, so to speak. And you're starting to see a lot of. Have you traveled since the pandemic? Have you gone on a plane?
Yes, I was actually on a plane like the week of the pandemic, and we were the only people
Really?
on that plane in the morning. Yeah, I've been to Mexico,
Okay.
which I think last year had like the most amount of tourists.
That makes sense.
I want to say, yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty lenient. I've been to Mexico. I've been on a plane, I want to say 4 or 5 times since then. So I
Wow.
just got back from Florida.
That's right. You did just get back to Florida. Which you did when you went to Florida. You didn't take leave, right?
I did not take
That
leave.
was
No.
leisure.
Or you go.
Which that's what I did. So we'd have the
Or
RV.
workcation is what they also mention in here.
Workation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that.
Half tourist period of time, and then working, basically.
Right. You set your hours. These are my working hours. So what we did for the RV is we went and we parked the RV in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So during the day.
Did it smell good?
It's delicious. Have you ever been to Hershey Park?
Yeah,
Oh
my
my
brother
gosh.
used to figure skate. So there's like a whole thing there. So I
Is
would
it
go.
Really?
I think there's like a whole. Yeah, the Bears.
The Hershey Bears do
Yeah.
play there.
Yeah. So we would go every year for like a big ice skating
Wow.
thing, and then we would just go to the park.
Hershey Bears. I bought while I was there. So when we got there, so I'm a big Capitals fan.
Yeah.
And we, when I got there, I was like, Haley, I wonder if they're going to have Hershey Bears gear. If there's Hershey Bears gear, I'm going to get Hershey Bears stuff. Because there's not, you don't really find, here in DC, it's not like you walk into I almost called it the MCI Center, the Verizon Center, and there's not just like Hershey Bear stuff everywhere. There might be 1 or 2 hats, but
get
it's Capitals
caps.
stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I got a Hershey Bears hat. The stadium's right next to
Yeah.
the park.
Yeah. I remember like being in it. You can like hear the roller coasters and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's where I went on my first loop roller coaster.
Was it the Super Duper Looper?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
The Super Duper Looper. So, which the name is a little what? I don't know. There's only one loop.
Yeah.
In the Super Duper Looper.
Yeah.
You would think that there would be multiple loops.
Which I guess is good if it's your first one.
It's one loop.
It's a good
And
starter.
They sell multiple T-shirts and hats.
Do they
I
really?
survived
So
the
it's like
Super-
a thing?
It's a thing.
I remember it being kind of sketchy. Like it's just kind of a lap bar
Yeah.
and like
It's definitely like
Which-
there's no over the.
no.
Yeah.
Which for like a small child going on a loop
So
seems
Eleanor
like
went on it. Eleanor's 5, my daughter, and Chase, my son, who is 7, 6.
no,
7.
look at me. I think so.
He's
That
6.
sounds all right.
He's 6. He'll be 7 in December. He went on it. No, he's 7. He's 7. He'll be 8 in December. I don't know. He's of certain age. I have a child. He has a birthday,
Right.
and he went on it, and they're younger, and I thought it was pretty cool though. I mean, it was cool, but to the article's point, we parked our RV at an RV camp. I worked from normal working hours, 8, 9 in the morning until 5:30, sometimes 6. And my family went. They have like a bus that took you from the RV camp to the park, and so then their park tickets are cheaper after 4.
Yeah.
So I would just go meet them
Oh,
after 4 o'clock, or they
that's
would
so
come
smart.
back and eat, and we'd all go back over together. So I got to
Right.
ride my roller coasters in the afternoon, and so yeah, I didn't take. I was bleisuring, I guess, or workation.
Yeah. We're lucky. We get to do that a lot here.
Yeah, and so that's the. I'm glad that this is becoming a trend. I think it's really cool. It's good for travel, and you're starting to see planes offer Wi-Fi now,
Yeah.
so you can work on the plane. Because I don't know if you've traveling to, where'd you say you went? Mexico.
Went to Mexico. I've been to Florida. Um,
How long are those flights?
Mexico, I think, is about 5 hours.
Okay, so that's pretty long.
And then Florida was like 2.
Florida's pretty quick.
Yeah.
The Mexico flight. So did they do like food for you? Do you remember?
I believe so.
Like snacks and drinks. They come through a few times with drinks. Did they
I
offer
think they,
Wi-Fi?
yeah, there was Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I think they try to minimize it. At least when I went, just
Right.
people are in masks and stuff. So,
Oh yeah, it's true.
you know, the
Yeah.
less that they can offer you to like minimize that. But coming back from Florida, like it was totally normal.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi,
Movies.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. When I travel, we have a client in California, Sacramento, and I've had to go out there a few different times, and that takes your whole day.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-hour flight, but you're flying back in time. It's weird.
Yeah.
And or if you're flying the opposite way, it's a 5-hour flight, but you're flying forward
It's so
in time.
confusing. It
And
always
so then
throws
you
me off.
lose like 9 hours of your day.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awful. Uh, but you're starting to see like United, who I like to fly United. Um, if you have their app, you can connect and use their Wi-Fi. So this whole travel and work and Wi-Fi thing is becoming. The airlines are into it. When you go to hotels, they have dedicated workspaces where they used to have. You might be too young for this, but when I was a young child, we would travel places and they had like a computer room.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So now those are like workstations because nobody really, people have laptops, right?
Okay, so this, I don't know, for some reason rings a bell. I think the last time I used a computer at a hotel was actually in Hershey Park because I
Really?
needed to print off
Right.
tickets, I
Right.
think.
So they
And they
have,
had one.
yeah. So you're starting to see that more and more. I mean, hotels are already kind of ahead of the curve, but you're starting to see it like resorts and stuff
Right.
like that. Whereas resorts were typically, this is vacation, like, and you're starting to see more and more amenities for people who are working in different locations. The article also talks about like Airbnb, um, people getting Airbnbs and going and getting different rental properties for the weekday. And I've done that. We use Airbnb a lot, and then the RV was RV Share,
Yep.
which is essentially the same thing. So I think it's great. And then it mentioned like in the article, what did the guy say? That he had like 3 weeks of vacation. I get 3 weeks of vacation before, says some guy, but I never felt like I have to take vacation time because I'm always on vacation.
Right. So that's
Yeah.
like a trend too that I've seen a lot is people use less of their vacation time
Yeah.
and are willing to give it up because they don't feel like they need to take it.
Right. Because you can just work.
Exactly.
So you've been with us for 8 months, 6 months,
I think 6.
6 months.
Mhm.
And how many times have you actually used vacation, like taking a day off?
Well, I just got back from
You did
like an
just get back
actual
from
vacation.
vacation.
So just one like week.
1 week.
But I mean, I still was in contact with you and like
Yeah,
taking
that's
pictures
true.
and stuff,
You
which
did like kind of work a
part of
little
my job, but
bit, but but you are seeing less.
I've been on multiple trips though
I will say you have
that I
been on
like
multiple
worked
trips.
during.
I have not. Uh, of all the people that I interview, and I don't think you asked me either in the interview process, was how many days of vacation? Did you ask? Did you like you knew it was a remote
I think maybe I
position?
was like told, yeah, it doesn't really Sick days, things like that,
It
like
used
it
to be a big
doesn't,
question.
right. And people kind of care less
Yeah,
now.
because as long as it's a remote position,
Exactly.
because I'm at home.
I'm at
You know,
home. Yeah, I don't feel the need to take them as
right?
much.
Yeah,
I'm happier.
which
I'm
we roll over our leave, which I don't
right.
remember how many hours we roll over. That's a Haley question or a Lizzie question,
I don't
but
remember.
yeah, it's the more and more people that I interview, that becomes less and less of a question.
Hmm.
It's how many days would I have to go to the office?
Right.
You know, that's more of the question than how many sick days do I get? You know,
Yeah, that wasn't even a question that like passed my
most people
through
don't
my
ask it
mind.
anymore because of this bleisure workations, the
Exactly.
rise of bleisure.
Yeah, it's a cool article. It talks about, you know, like travel rates and how those are changing and things like that too. And then also, like, people obviously have more money they're saving on travel
Mm-hmm.
and commuting, so they do get to do like more of this stuff as well. Um,
So how are the rates changing? Are they going down
so
or
let's
up?
see.
I didn't look at
So,
that.
quote here, since 2020, we've observed a small but noticeable shift towards Thursday departures. Um, it's just basically changing like the days that people
Ah,
travel. Um, you're seeing a lot more like weekday. Sundays and Mondays have risen 5.9%
interesting.
compared to where it normally would be like Friday and Saturday
Yeah,
flights. But it's changing a lot, so people feel like they can
they can travel whenever they want
travel
now.
during the week or have summer Fridays.
Summer
Um,
Fridays is a
yep,
thing.
they can leave on a Thursday night and come back, Sunday night or something like that.
Workstations allow people with flexible home and work lives to become half tourists, which we also, I mean, we're like super remote family, right? So we homeschool
Yep.
as well, which we went to the Washington Nationals game yesterday, which I did take leave for.
I saw
Um,
you out of
I
office.
did take
I
leave for
was like,
that
what
one.
is he doing?
Yeah. So I did take leave yesterday went to the Washington Nationals game, and it was a no, it was a Wednesday. Yeah,
But you wouldn't necessarily need to do that. Like,
I
you get
wouldn't
on in the
have to.
morning, you get your stuff done, or you could do it later in the day.
Yeah, it was a 1 o'clock game, and I will tell you that. We have club seats,
Right.
and in the club at least, I don't think that this was happening in all of the sections, but in the club, there were people on calls, on computers. They have conference rooms in the club. They have all kinds of different workstations and locations. Haley took a couple work calls
Yeah.
while we were there. Which was definitely a lot harder outside the club because we went outside the club and went down to the playground. They have a playground in like center field, and it is loud.
For kids?
Yeah, not for adults, Sydney. I did not go down the slide, but yeah. So even like local traveling and stuff like that is
I
definitely
saw,
a thing.
yeah, I saw a guy on vacation. It was like pouring down rain one day, so we went to like a tiki bar, a rooftop tiki bar.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just posted up. He had his laptop. He had a hotspot next to
Yeah,
him. There's
yeah. Which if you want to
baseball on
review,
TV, drinking a drink, and
if you want to look at the
working.
reviews of the hotspots in the USB hotspots in the internet that we did, we are going to be posting on our YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to see the reviews of. We did 3 different reviews of hotspots. So if you're that guy wanting to work from a bar or restaurant or Nationals Park, then read those reviews. Cool. So I guess we got one more.
Yeah, so it brings us to our third article, kind of like along the lines of benefits, vacation, things like that, and like what people are willing to give up. So meet a 39-year-old remote worker making $116,000 a year who says he could quit and get a job that pays more, but he'd rather have the flexibility to work from home instead, which we're seeing a lot. It's like one of the top reasons
Yeah.
now that, um,
Just about everybody I know who
yeah,
works remotely took a pay cut. That's pretty standard. And at some point, you have to balance. Now, I know not everybody can afford to take a pay cut,
right.
but
But you're also seeing the opposite too, is some of the remote jobs are like the highest paying.
that is true. A lot of the remote jobs are higher paying jobs.
Yeah, it depends.
I believe there was some statistics about that where of the highest earning households, like over 50% were had some remote capacity to them. Maybe not
Right.
full remote, but those were some of the highest earning households were working remote. Which that comes with it too, right? So these professions that we're talking about that do have the most remote capabilities are your thought, paid to think positions, your
Technology,
architects,
healthcare.
IT, right,
Right.
healthcare, those types of positions. So those are, by nature, some of the more higher paying jobs, but not always. And it's an interesting demographic. But you are seeing people who are willingly giving up money to work from home. But that is like a little. I will say that this article is a little misleading because of course you can get more money to go back to the office, but at where are you? It doesn't really say where he lives, right? Does it say where he lives?
I think Connecticut.
He's in Connecticut. So if he's in
Pretty high
Connecticut,
cost of
right,
living.
and he'd probably have to commute maybe into like New York,
Yeah.
you know, which hell no, would I do that?
No,
So
never.
I'm what are we like 20 miles south of DC? I used to work or live a lot closer. I was about 10 miles from DC, and I would have to go in and take the metro or the train, like with the Amtrak train. Have you ever taken the Amtrak train?
No.
It's a step up from the metro, but it's
Is it
not.
nicer than like a
It's
Greyhound bus?
so put it this way: I bought a mask, like a face mask, for like in like 2019
Right.
because on the train people were just like sneezing without covering their mouth and coughing and just will just look you in the eye and just sneeze, and you're and
This is the Greyhound bus of trains.
right, it's
Got it.
pretty nasty. So I was like, I need to get. So I have Crohn's disease, which is a what immuno whatever it is, uh, and so I was like, I'm gonna get sick every year come flu season if I don't get a mask, and I got one, and then turned into COVID, and then people were like dogging me in the beginning because it was like I got it like flu season of 2019, and October of 19 I think is when like China, the whole Wuhan thing happened.
I think so.
And so like I remember I was walking through the train station. I had my mask on, and someone was like, "Hey, COVID," or something
Oh
like that. And I'm
no.
like, "This is not. I'm not. I don't care about COVID. Like that's not why I'm doing this." Um,
Right. Don't get confused.
yeah. But anyways, I hated it. I hated getting on the train. I
Yeah.
hated getting on the metro. It was expensive. It was hundreds of dollars a month to to commute, and you're
Oh yeah.
cramped.
I
It's
save.
gross.
I save so much money.
Oh
Even
yeah.
coming, probably come here like once a
Uh
week.
huh.
I used to commute at least 40 minutes one way each day.
Oh.
So about an hour and a half. Um, Before that, I was driving an hour to and from work each day. So like
To and from.
to and from.
So you'd work your 8 hour day, an hour, uh,
Yep.
and an hour at the so 10 hour day.
Yes, from Maryland.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
And so to that, if you're going into the office and you're taking I say quote pay cut, let's say $400 a month in gas,
Yeah,
right? So there's what? There's $5,000 annually.
exactly.
Then you're talking about parking, maybe $100 a month. So there's another $1,200. So now we're at six, maybe $7,000 a year annually, and then lunch. And I don't know how many people bring their lunch to work every day. I didn't, And when I didn't work from home, most of the time I would get off the train. There was a Starbucks in the Union Station in DC that I would go grab Starbucks from. And
Oh
I had
yeah.
like the Starbucks app and scan and quick scan and all that other stuff. And I would usually buy like a breakfast sandwich
Yep.
there as well, which that's like $10 a day, right? So what? Five, that's $50 a week.
Yeah.
There's another $1,000. So we're somewhere around $10,000, which we just ran a poll on my Instagram and I put it
I
out
saw that.
on Facebook. And 63% of respondents, small sample size, I think I had 126, um, small sample size, but 63% said they would take at least a $10,000 pay cut
That's
to
wild.
to work remote, which is consistent with what this is talking about. This guy says, "Hey, I can make more money elsewhere." Now he's
Mhm.
making six figures at home, right?
Right.
So like, yeah,
Be nice.
you know, you could argue that his $116,000 at home working job is the equivalent of adding $20,000 to go into the office, that he is actually working the equivalent of a $136,000 job, because depending on which studies you find, but it's said that it's $11,000 annually per 50%.
Right, that's halftime.
Right. So $22,000 plus 60, 135, 136 ish, depending on where he lives and how far he's commuting. So when you think of it that way, yeah, could he go get more money? Yeah, but does that, just because your number, your offer number on your offer letter from the organization, what they say they're paying you, is a higher number, doesn't mean that that is going into your
right.
Right? It's
Exactly.
not like you have more spending money or more time to spend money, because you're, like you said,
driving all the time.
10
Being
hours,
miserable.
10 hours a week in traffic. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a long time.
it's a long time.
That's a whole work day plus driving.
Oh,
a
yeah.
day. Yeah, no thank you.
It was the worst.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
I would not trade it for. I would not go back.
I had to do
I'm
that
spoiled now.
when I lived in Baltimore. I had to commute to Silver Spring, which was about an hour and a half. And to cut time, got an Easy Pass, which then I was paying like $12 to get to work.
Yeah.
Not including gas. That's just $12 each way, so $24 a day plus gas and parking to get to work. And then there were days that I had to drive, park at the metro. So I'd pay $5 in parking to park at the metro, go get on the metro, another, you loaded up $20 on your card, that would last you a day and a half,
Right.
So let's call it $10. So $15 a day if you're taking the metro. It all adds up.
It all adds up. I think I was doing research yesterday, and then the worst city in the country.
One of them.
We're one of them for sure. I think there was some study that geographically, or based on like the number of people we had, like especially like where we live, was like the worst
Yeah.
traffic in the country at one point. But yeah, Detroit has the worst commute
That
in the country.
doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, LA, New York, DC,
Yep.
Chicago.
Chicago was up there.
Dallas might be up there. I feel like Dallas would be up there. But
Not sure.
yeah,
But yeah, Detroit number one.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do it. You couldn't
No.
pay me. You couldn't pay me enough to go back in the office. I'm with this guy, whoever this guy is. I
Right.
don't know how he got an article written about him, but bravo, mister. It says almost half of American workers in a September survey said they would take up to a 5% pay cut to continue work remotely, at least part-time, after the coronavirus pandemic. I've seen numbers to say 10%. That's what I put on all my polls, because I put how much would you take a cut? And people are going to protect their money, so
Right.
they're going to pick the lowest number you put out there. So if you say, hey, would you take a $5,000 pay cut? Yes. Would you take a $10,000? Well, you said that I could take a $5,000, so I'm going to do that.
Right.
So if you don't even offer the $5,000, you say, hey, would you take a $10,000? Then people will be like, yeah. Would you take 15? Oh no, you said 10. So they will choose comfort and remote work over money. I think it does anything over $10,000. I think
It's a little scary.
it is a little bit of is a life change, a little bit. Even though statistics show that the numerical that you're still earning, you're still taking in more money,
Right. And
up to 20,000.
people do what they're comfortable with. and
Exactly.
That's why
That
they still
number
go
is
to the
scary.
office.
That number is scary. That's right. Well done, Sydney.
Thanks.
So is that it?
I think so.
All right. We did good today.
I think so.
I enjoyed this. I thought this was great, and I'm already looking forward to the next set.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Well done. So when are we gonna do trivia? To put
Oh,
you
well,
on
I've
the
got a
spot.
list of questions.
Do
So,
you have a whole 10? Because we're gonna do 10 questions, right? Per episode.
yeah, I have like 50
50. Wow. So
You
we
spread
could
'em
do
out.
5 episodes
in a day.
in a
I
day
might have to
and just
knock them out.
leisure.
Yeah,
I like
got
it.
it covered. Don't worry.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out. This has been the Work Wherever podcast. If you guys enjoyed this episode, let us know so that we can do more of it, I guess. We want to do more of these articles. I think it's cool. Let us know what you think. Hit us if you're watching on YouTube. Hit us in the comments. Let us know what you thought. Like and subscribe. We're on all major platforms for your podcast. And until next time, guys. Sydney, you have anything to say before we go?
Thanks for having me. Can't wait to be back.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Hey there! Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for all the latest videos from Capital Presence.